Yo, Winning Shot family, what's going on? Listen, it's been a long time since all three of us been on the camera. My goodness. I had to step back for a minute. I had to look back and say, wait a minute. We all here? Sheesh. No, welcome to the Winning Shot podcast. Herbie J. John. We got Hundo. We got Colin. Thank y'all for locking in with us this morning. Fellas, how y'all doing? We're getting to the content.
I'm doing good, bro. I can't complain. Same old, you know.
Yeah.
I'm doing good, man. It's exciting summer. Been hot, man.
Nah, facts. It's been OD hot. I ain't gonna hold you. It's the kind of hot, like, I hope y'all get right with Jesus. I really do. Because if this heat don't make you want to get right with the Lord, yeah. Meet us in the comments. I'm gonna have a special prayer for you. I guarantee it. Oh my goodness. I'm glad that y'all boys are doing well, man. It is hot in the summertime. But a lot is happening out here in the sports world, so we got to continue on with the content. Pray for y'all got air conditioners in y'all crib right now, and it's blasting. And if it's not, God bless you.
Good luck.
No, for real. First, let's do this. Start off by doing this, man.
If you listen to this and sweating, man, you deserve a special shout out.
They watching the pod in the sauna.
Oh my! I mean, okay, a legit sauna. Oh my gosh, bro, it's been excruciating hot. Like, please stay hydrated. Get some water, please.
Turn off the pod. Go get some water.
Go get some water, please, and drink plenty of it. Plenty of it. One bottle's not gonna cut it. You really gonna need a gallon, no cap. But not for real. Listen, I did want to start the podcast by doing this. We recently hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, and actually, I checked it this morning. We had 121 subscribers on YouTube, and that was one of our major milestones we wanted to start off with on the pod. We talked about this in our production meetings earlier on. So, man, to see that we hit that goal, bro, it felt so good to see that people are subscribing to the pod, listening to the pod, commenting and sharing it, and helping us draw in other subscribers. It helps us to know, it helps me to know personally. I let these fellas speak for themselves. They're on the right track, man. I see that we continue to draw in inspiration from the people. I see the people continuing to comment on our videos. I see people sharing on Instagram and TikTok and on YouTube commenting. Bro, it makes me feel like we're doing the right thing. It really does. Like, when I'm debating people in the comments, I'm like, wow, people actually, like, you know, giving their opinion on what I gave my opinion on. That jump feels good to me. I'm like, dang, my opinion might be valid on something. You feel me? So I wanted to give a special thank you to everyone who listens to the podcast, subscribes to the podcast, and is a faithful, loyal Winning Shot patron. We appreciate y'all listening to us. We appreciate y'all reading the articles that the guys are writing. We don't take it lightly. We truly don't. So I'm gonna let the guys kind of give their own little thing, man. But I just want to come on here and say I thank y'all personally, because I see it and it just makes my heart melt, man.
Yeah, man. Special shout out to y'all. Thank you for subscribing. Like, we don't take it for granted, for sure, because you know the work we put in the background, just to seeing somebody's reading it, even if it's one person, man, it's just a blessing to know that people care about what we're doing. So definitely continue to subscribe, and even the 120 subscribers we have now, man, we promise to keep doing work in the background and make sure y'all have up-to-date content with real analysis, man. So appreciate and shout out to y'all.
Nah, for real. Just following up what they said, same thing. Shout out to y'all supporting us, following us on this journey, sharing y'all takes, interacting with us in the comments, like John said. And similar, like John's point too, like having 121, like these not just our friends, like these people who we don't even know. So that's what I like to see. So just keep it up, man. We just gotta keep going.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So in the spirit of doing that and keeping going, and where's a Hundo Clark, we're gonna get straight into the content. Listen, the NBA draft just concluded, fellas. There was a lot of guys who got drafted. As we know, it's 59 total selections between the first two rounds, or the only two rounds of the NBA draft. And so a lot of young men had their dreams come true. But let's take a deeper dive into that, because I was reading some comments on like Twitter, and they were saying like this draft, or the draft in general, the NBA is becoming a rich man's sport. And they said that because a lot of the guys who were getting drafted, they just weren't like happy about being drafted this year. Like, it was kind of like, thanks. Like, I knew it was gonna happen. versus like, in earlier years or past years, like guys have had like stories of inspiration of like, I've had to, grind for my whole life. My parents didn't have this, so I didn't necessarily have these tools to make it to the league, right? They said a lot of these kids today, like they've come from good backgrounds and like they had all they need their entire life. So this was kind of just another step for them. When y'all watched the draft, did y'all get that sense of like entitlement to a lot of these kids? I felt like when I was watching some of the kids, it's kind of like, I don't want to go to this team. I'm not gonna do this. And then like, I always have had a disdain for kids who are like, oh, I'm not going here. I'm not gonna do this. And it's like, you've never been a professional athlete. You've never had anyone choose you to pay you this kind of money, and you like have the nerve and the gall to like tell people where you will and will not go. I personally have a disdain with that, but I'm gonna let y'all give y'all's perspective of what y'all saw in this draft, and we'll kind of go do a little deep dive from there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, John. I think like that's kind of the difference between what I saw with like the NFL draft and the NBA draft. Like, I remember watching, like probably five years ago, man. Like every first round pick, like 1 through 10, was like crying in tears, no matter where they went, because it was just like a blessing to get drafted.
Yes.
And I think this is like the impact that we're seeing with the NIL because people
Mm-hmm.
are making money, and it's like, everybody's used to like that life changing money before they get into the NBA or NFL draft. I mean, you
That's
look at
true.
like Shador, like Shador went to the 5th round, but he comes from money and he had a lot of money that he earned at Colorado. So him moving in the 1st round wasn't really like a big deal because financially it wasn't going to really impact him as much. And I think for these NBA players, there's a sense of entitlement. And I think you have to understand just the percentage of people that actually make it to the league and actually stay in the league. Because you look at like
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Bennett, right? Anthony Bennett was the #1 pick, but now nobody is really talking about him. He's playing like overseas. And I think we're losing that sense of like gratitude when it comes to like making it in any professional setting. And it scares me because it's like, man, when you are burning bridges, especially like we'll talk about later with the Ace Bailey situation, you just never know where you're going to end up because just because you get selected to a team doesn't mean you're going to stay there. And you're going to GMs move, players move, coaches move, and if you burn those bridges now, it can affect you long term.
Yeah, I'm with you, Colin. Especially that last part with the burning bridges. I know that was something that you had mentioned the other day when me and you were on the pod. But like, that's something that a lot of kids, especially 18, 19, are not thinking about. They're thinking about in the moment. They're not thinking about 5, 10 years down the road. Maybe I'm not on the same team, and these same owners, these same GMs are in the same positions on other teams, and you don't want to ruin those relationships.
Yeah.
And to your point with the NIL, like, yeah, like that's a big part of it. Like these kids are making hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions in college before they even get to the league. So it's like, yo, a lot of people aren't even entering the draft and being one and dones. So we got to look at that part of it too. And then, as you mentioned with like Ace Bailey, like we'll get in that later, but just like we're in a different generation now. Like LeBron, Kobe, all that, like that's the past. Like these kids now, 2025, bro, these kids don't be caring, bro. They don't be caring, bro. But it is some of them that still do. We heard VJ Edgecombe talking about how he grew up, not having electricity. So definitely, it's few that's still grateful, excited for the opportunity. But like you said, it's always those exceptions.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's a good point that Colin made with the NIL. I didn't even take it from that perspective, pretty much. But still, here's my thing, bro. Like, even if, with that standpoint of I've made millions in college, that for me personally shouldn't change the fact that I mean you weren't gonna stay in college forever. That you don't have the kind of eligibility, right? So like the fact that an NBA team wants to bring you into their ranks and pay you to be a professional athlete, for me, should change. Like I don't care if you made $5 million while you was in college. To me personally, now once again, you look at a person who's never made $5 million in college. So I mean, I can maybe see their perspective and saying, well, I haven't. But let's be real, the NBA contract that you're gonna get is a lot more than $5 million as a first round pick, more than likely. Am I right? Am I wrong? You probably get more than a $5 million signing bonus. You know what I'm saying? So like, my thing is this: money aside, because I get that that's a big piece, but your dream more than likely has come true of going to the NBA. So like for me, I'm like, I don't personally get that we should subscribe to like 2020. Oh, it's 2025. Kids should just not have to be happy. Nah, bruh. Like this is a lot of people's dream in life to be a professional athlete, to have this level of clout, to have this level of status, to have this to like be something that they've dreamed of playing a child's game on a professional level, meeting a lot of your people who you've looked up to or play AAU ball with, seen LeBron since you're a little kid on TV. Now you get to play with him either as a peer or as an opponent. Like you've had the opportunity now, and you're not taking it like. To me, it's just like, I'm gonna skip this workout. I don't want to go to this team. Like for me, it's too much. It's too much entitlement, personally. And I can't get with it. I really can't. I really have like a strong hatred. It's a hatred. I'm not even going. It's not even. It's past disdain because I'm like, how dare you? Like it's one thing. So I go back to this. Dion, when he was coming out, right? He was telling teams, "Hey, I'm not gonna work out for y'all because I'm not gonna be there at that point in the draft." It wasn't saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna like. I don't respect you as a team." He just knew his talent and the way his draft was looking. He's gonna be gone in the first 5 picks. Cool. It's one thing to say that versus you saying, oh, "I just don't want to play for y'all." That's crazy to me.
Hey,
To me,
I will say though, John, like, and this is not the case for everybody, but like some organizations are bad organizations, bro. Like we have to be real. Like,
is the check gonna cash?
huh?
Is the check gonna cash?
Yeah, but still, bro. Like we saw with the NFL, bro. Like certain players don't want to go certain places, bro. As we know,
Yeah.
like when we look at franchises, bro, we know that some franchises are better ran than others.
Indeed, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So
That's true.
So if a sorry team with a bad organization and bad leadership is trying to take me, and I don't want to go there, and I don't feel like that's the best opportunity for me to thrive as a player, I'm following people speaking out and saying they don't want to go to X, Y, and Z place.
And I think that's the difference between the NBA and the NFL though, because you know the NBA is running that lottery system. The NFL, the worst team is gonna have the first pick. So like, it's like, okay, if you don't want to be the first pick, what are you gonna do? Sit out a year? Like I'm confused. Like with versus the NBA lottery with the Dallas Mavericks, who came in with a built roster and had the opportunity to go get Cooper Flagg with the first pick. It's like, okay, you have more choice in the matter, right? So I get that piece of it. But my thing is this: okay, cool. The Cleveland Browns had the first overall pick. You may not want to go to Cleveland, but you get to be first overall pick, and you're going to the NFL. You're making millions of dollars. Coming from, even if you make $5 million as a college athlete, the college NILs do not touch these NFL contracts as a rookie.
I hear you, but like it might not be about the money for them. Is my point. Like the money, cool. Like yeah, the money's different, but like it's about fit. It's about where you can go and where you can succeed. Yes, the money is more, but where can I go and be my best self?
How do I know you're gonna succeed? You ain't never played against pros. You've only played in college against guys who may be an accountant tomorrow. I'm asking you to come in game one and play against LeBron. Like you telling me, oh, I don't have the right fit to do that? Like I'm confused. Talk to me.
I mean, you can look at the roster and see past drafts, past examples, previous examples of how first round picks were treated in said organization. It don't matter if I played it down or not. If I don't think that your organization is good enough to be ran to where I can succeed, I have the right to voice that opinion and say I don't want to go there.
I think like the bigger issue.
Answer this: Would you rather go to the Mavericks or the Wizards?
I mean, obviously the Mavericks.
Okay.
I think it's yes. You want to go to the best organization. If that was the case, everybody would try to hit up.
No, I'm not necessarily even saying like the best organization from like a success standpoint, but like you look at the way the Wizards are ran, bro. Like the Wizards are a bad organization, bro.
Mm-hmm. Somebody got to go there.
It won't be me.
I mean, I think the bigger issue though is like both in the NFL and NBA. The problem is if you get drafted to a team, they essentially have you for like at least 5 to 6 years. because with the NBA you have the bird rights, so you can leave, but you'll be losing out on a lot of money. And with the NFL,
Yeah.
obviously you have the what's
They
it
got
called?
the 4-year plus the player option for the fifth.
But you can franchise tag, especially if you're a quarterback or if you're a good player.
Yeah.
So like I feel like there has to be changes on that end, but I feel like it's a deeper problem than the NIL, John. Like I think the transfer portal is a big deal too because essentially every year you could transfer and pick the team you want. And from Ace Bailey's standpoint, ever since the beginning, like he didn't even stay at the same high school, so he's always been going to the places that he wants essentially. And I
Mhm.
feel like that kind of culture is kind of like, I know you and I were talking about this AAU culture where people are getting to put their teams together, and it's more so to feed into the players' preferences more than actually just grinding out where you are and just being the best wherever you're planted. Like I think that's kind of lost on just our entire generation, this next generation, and I feel like that's kind of feeding into the NBA because you got to think he went to Rutgers. Rutgers was terrible, but he was catered to his entire time there, and people were telling him that he was going to be a top 2 pick. And once you get into the NBA draft, you're like, okay, do I want to go phased out in Utah, or do I just want to go somewhere that I want that's close to home and I would have more likelihood of stardom and success? Because the teams that he wanted to go to, they weren't necessarily good teams. Like Washington was on that list. So I think it was past winning and money. I feel like it was a lot just preference and comfortability. And who was representing him too, which was terrible, but we'll get into that later.
Now that's
Yeah.
real, but like I said, like it's about fit. It's about clearly it wasn't about the money for him. It was about where he could go, get his shots up, and thrive. Like you said, he probably would have ended up in Philly.
Yeah.
He probably would have ended up in Philly. But what does that mean? Embiid, Maxi, PG, Jared
McCain.
McCain. So it's like I could go to Utah and I could ball out. Because who they got? Jordan Clarkson, Walker Kessler,
Laurie.
So you think
Laurie.
it's more about like trying to be a face of the franchise as a rookie versus like trying to be a part of a team? Because
I
like
think
with that aforementioned, it's like okay, you mentioned the system or the scheme or the team, but like with in Ace Bailey's situation, and we're switching over to that here, um, it's like okay, you got Washington on that list, so under just say like they're a terrible organization. So it's like okay, do I just want to go somewhere where I can just have my way, or do I want to go somewhere where with Philly I could potentially like be a winner? You know what I'm saying? And maybe not like early, but like with Embiid and they still got who else they got down there?
Maxi, PG.
Maxey and them. So like, okay, I want to be a part of something that I can build and like actually be a winner. Like,
Mhm.
what is the what's the consensus here? Like, I think that's my whole thing behind it. Like, do you want to win, or do you just want to be a guy? Like,
Well, I think
Once
for Ace, it's about having the ability to like play and shine and star. I mean, you go back to Collins' point. He went to Rutgers.
right? And they suck. So it's
Exactly.
like,
He probably could have went to Kentucky. He probably
but
could have went to
Did he star?
Arkansas.
Was he a
He could have
star at
went to
Rutgers?
any of them blue blood schools.
Was he a star at Rutgers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Did
he
they?
was good.
But did he do anything to help them win? Like that's for me
I
being a
mean,
star. It's like it's more than you having 20 and 20. You have 20 and be and go 10 and 25. To me you made no impact. You sucked.
John, that's not how that worked, brother. Because they had 2 top 5 picks on that team.
Yes, I saw this, but okay, cool. I get as an individual. Yes, you're good, but like, are you? Is that? That's what I'm saying. Are you
But
coming
see,
in just to continue to do that same thing and be sorry? Like, is that your whole
but see,
goal?
hey, some people want to get their stats and get their numbers.
Yeah,
It
To
might
me,
that's the
not
thing.
be about winning for him right now.
Because I mean, like, yeah, to Hundo's point, like, you got to think, John. If he would go to North Carolina, he wouldn't have been able to like fully realize his potential. Scouts wouldn't have been able to see, all he's capable of doing. Rutgers, he had a lot of control. Like when you go to those bigger schools with bigger name coaches, like they're going to force you to play in a role and you flourish in that role. I think he wanted full control, being able to bring the ball up, being able to take any shot on court that he wants to, so that he could show scouts what the fullness of his game was. And I feel like a lot of that was kind of Dylan Harper's standpoint too. And I think that's why they went 17 and 16, because they had a coach who pandered to their players and didn't actually run any offense. And I think that's one of the problems with this entitlement generation. It's like they're going where they want to, but they're not actually thriving because they're not central to us. Like they don't know what they are in the NBA because they don't have a certain role.
So So just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, it's not about winning. It's just about individual success.
Yeah.
I
Now that
think I
money and
think in Ace Bailey's standpoint, yes.
yeah.
Interesting concept. And that we're losing recipes if that's the
No,
case.
I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
we
Me,
agree.
me and Colin talk about this all the time, bro. Like, are you trying to win? Like, teams need to be out here trying to win, bro. So do players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Say less. That's an interesting. That's an interesting theory, bro. Like boys
I mean,
really don't want to win no more.
it's kind
That's
of like
crazy.
similar. It's kind of similar to Travis's situation. Like, obviously, Travis is a much better prospect, but he was only going places where he could play both sides of the ball. He goes to a bigger Power Five school. Nick Saban probably is not letting him do that. And I think a lot of players want that control because they think that that's going to be beneficial going to the next level to show the fullness of what they can do. But like, I mean, you look at some of these corners that are coming out and some of these just players, like you benefit from having good coaches and being in good programs because it forces you to stay disciplined. That's my biggest concern with Ace Bailey. It's like when you get into the NBA, you're going to be forced to do something well. Because if you can't do something well, then you're not going to be in the league a long time. Like you can go and drop 29 and 28 in Utah, but at the end of the day, like if you're going to play winning basketball, you're going to have to flourish in a role.
And I think that's my standpoint. It's like okay, cool. Like if you want to come and be an individual, I hear it. But like you went in, you can come in and we talked about this with the WNBA Hundo the other day, right? We talked about Paige's team is what 3-14 right now, but like she's leading for rookie of the year. It's like okay, how long like does that matter versus you being a winner? Like because at the end of the day, eventually you gonna have to switch and become a Jewel Lloyd and go to a system that's going to like are you gonna be able to fit right like and so going back to Ace it's like okay cool you gonna come in let's say you just go ahead and drop let's just say 20-7 20-8 as a rookie right you average that okay cool but Washington sucks or he's in Utah right now so Utah is not gonna have the best record so it's like okay is that gonna do you want that to be your career or do you ever plan on going to a team to where you can be a winner and based upon his current track record the answer is no he went to Rutgers
Yeah,
and it's like and as a
I would.
grown man, I'll say this too. Like, it's just not gonna let you just do what you want. Like, it's not how the NBA's run. That's not
Yeah,
that's not how sports organizations at the professional level are just ran. They just unless you have proven once again that you can get it done like a LeBron James, a Steph Curry, like KD, these guys who've earned that rank and earned that stain. You don't just get the keys to the kingdom as a rookie and just say, "Oh, go do what you want." That's not how that works. So it's like at some point you have to lock in and learn how to be under somebody's control, and not necessarily control, but under somebody's coaching and tutelage, and like be a part of the system and learn how to play that way versus you playing. Oh, I don't want to go there because they're not gonna let me do what I want to do. You're a grown man.
I
Like,
will say people have made careers off of like the opposite mindset that we have of like doing what they want to do, playing for who they want to play for, and being on sorry teams. Like we've literally seen a number of people chase money over an
indeed,
opportunity to win a
indeed,
championship and go to better teams.
indeed. Yes, we have. But those players also have had to fit into like systems at the same time. Like at some point in their career, Hundo. Like you can't just be like,
And they ain't win.
that's true. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And you got to pan out. You got to walk the walk.
Exactly.
Hey,
You're talking.
now what like you said, Colin, what would be crazy is if he come in the league and be a bust. Now that's
Yeah.
gonna be hilarious. Don't be a bust, Ace Bailey. You did all of this.
Yeah.
You better be like that. That's all
And we're gonna see
that's
this
all I
in the
want to
league.
say.
Oh, I tell you what, it's gonna be very interesting to see. Y'all boys follow the NBA more than I do, but I definitely want to pay attention to that young man to see how that pans out for him in Utah. Um, with that, like I said, there's just a lot of guys that came out this year to see, like, okay, what can these new teams do? Like, how do y'all think Cooper Flagg's going to turn out in Dallas with him going to Dallas and teaming up with AD and Kyrie just signed or get ready to sign with them again? So, I mean, they have a solid at least 3 players, right? And they have going to be able to bring in people through free agency or whatever the case may be. How do y'all think that his integration into Dallas will be as a rookie?
I think it's gonna be interesting to see kind of like how he plays alongside. AD. He's
Mhm.
versatile, can score from all three levels. But he played more like a four position at Duke. AD is going to be the four in Dallas with Derek Lively or Gafford at the five, and
Mhm.
then Cooper Flagg probably at the three. So it's going to be interesting to see how he guards threes um, on the perimeter specifically. But shoot, he in a good situation, bro.
Yeah.
Like we talked about earlier, like Dallas is not sorry. When healthy, they're a championship contending team.
Mhm.
So hopefully they can get Kyrie back sooner rather than later. And we can actually see what this team is going to look like in
Yeah.
full form.
Yeah, I agree with Hundo. I think it's going to be interesting to see what Kid does, like who he actually runs the offense through. Because like at Duke, he did everything. Even at Montverde, like the offense was run through him. But you know, as a rookie, do you continue to run the offense through AD and just open up shooters? Like, does he have to play off of somebody, or are you going to just give him the keys, right? And then it's going to be interesting. Does Kyrie come back if they're a contender this year? What does that look like? Or do you just sit him out the whole year? You still got Jaden Hardy. Trying to think who else is on their bench. Probably go pick up another backup point guard. But yeah, I think can he play off of people if it's going through AD, or can he be that guy if they hand him the rock? 29 shots a game, like something like that.
And Kyrie just signed an extension too, so
Yeah,
that's going to be big moving forward.
Mhm.
Got him locked up. AD looked like he want to be there, so we gonna see.
yeah. And I think Cooper is like different because like even just seeing him this year, he wants to win. Like it's not all about his stats. So I just want the media and fans to just be honest with his career. Like even if he gets like 12-5 and they're winning, that's better than him just getting 29 points and then being like a lottery team. So I feel like if he can just have a steady incline with his career, that's better than him just coming out looking like a LeBron. Because I just don't think that's feasible anymore to ask that kind of expectation in this league today.
I will add to that too, Colin. Though, like I hope he does continue to incline because he could get stuck in that role where
Yeah,
he is that 12, 14, 15 point per game scorer, and now everybody looking at him like a role player.
yeah,
So hopefully he does continue to get better and, well, not necessarily get better, but like get more opportunities to shine, really, because that's
yeah,
what it is truly. Um, to have that offense ran through him.
yeah. I agree. How'd you feel about I I think on the pod we were talking about Dylan Harper too. Like we kind of both knew that. Um, but I guess everybody was kind of shocked about 3 with VJ. How'd you feel about that pick, and what do you see the fit?
I feel like they had to draft somebody,
Facts.
unless
Facts.
unless they were going to trade the pick and move down like you suggested on the pod. But I mean, similar to Ace Bailey, I mean, he's in a good situation. Going to Philly. If Ace Bailey would have been going to Philly, he would have been in a good situation. Um, if healthy, it looks like they're gonna keep this team together. But we gonna see. I guess Philly, rocking with these guys and gonna run it back again. So hopefully they healthy. As we said before, the East is wide open. So if they're able to be healthy, Embiid is a big factor in that. They got a chance to compete in the East. I think he's gonna be a role player. I don't see him getting you know 30, 35 plus minutes per game to start out. I could definitely see him coming off the bench and being a solid role player.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, as the number three pick.
I mean, I just feel like the fit didn't work because you have a plethora of guards. And I feel like he's gonna get stuck in like this Kaminga Benedict kind of role where it's like, man, this dude is averaging like he's getting 20 off the bench, but we're not putting him in any meaningful situations. And we said last time, you got Jared McCain, you got Tyrese Maxey, you got PG, you got MB. Like, there's only so many shots that can go up, and VJ is a dynamic scorer. I think they got him purely off of his athleticism. But do you just bolster that second unit by bringing him just to run the second unit, or do you infuse him into the starting position? Because I guess where they're saying is like one of the 5 starters are gonna get hurt at some point this year,
Yeah,
so we got to make sure we have somebody to insert.
And that's key. I mean, you got to think about that, especially with this team. especially with this team.
Yeah.
But like Jared McCain was shining when he was playing last year before he went down with an injury. So
Yeah.
like you said, he's definitely probably gonna be coming off the bench. I would assume Jared McCain would take back, the starting shooting guard position. Now, if not, I mean, they might be competing for minutes, those two. But I don't see PG coming off the bench. Maxey definitely not coming off the bench.
Right.
I mean, are you risking it and putting PG at the 4 and letting him start? Like, I doubt that.
I got a crazy conspiracy because even with Morey back in at the Rockets, you know what he wants to do. Like, he wants to prove that small ball works. And John, I know how you feel about Embiid, but it's like, if Embiid gets hurt again this year, like I definitely can see them trying to run all guards and having like PG at the 4. Like that year they had Ryan Anderson, Eric Gordon, Daniel House, like,
yeah,
and they were winning. He wants to prove it works. Yeah.
I tell you what,
it's 2025.
If I see Embiid at the 4, let me tell you something right now. It's not a good. That's not good. What? Too big for that. You're 7'1". Get under the block.
So, John, if he gets hurt again this year, Embiid, do you move off of him? Like, where are we at with the Embiid legacy, Embiid project?
Yeah, bro. I mean, buddy got to stay healthy. And if he don't stay healthy, yeah, it's time to go. I mean, the product. What do you call itself?
Process.
The process product. That's the product's Kamai, right?
Kiyomi McMillan.
Yeah, she sucked too. Anyways, that's on another podcast. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. The process has ended. We've seen the end result of this process. It is not good. It's not good. I mean, go somewhere else, bro. Go somewhere else. I mean, you can come to Boston if you want to. We just got rid of Kristaps. So, I mean, I think it's like this, bro. You're 7'1". Your knees ain't good, clearly. So it's like, and clearly you can't do it by yourself. That's clear, And it's been the same thing in Philly every single year. Like, it just hasn't worked out. So I mean, if it don't work out this year, and there's a lot of teams in a lot of leagues that are saying that if it don't work out this year, it's time to cut ties. I think we got to move into that too. At what point do we look at these players and say, hey, enough is enough? Like, we can't just keep spending money. We can't. We can't just keep paying you. And in Embiid's situation, particularly, he played, 14 games last year out of 82 before we had that season-ending injury? And he hasn't played a full season. Has he ever played a full season in his career? Like, what do we, I mean, yeah, he won MVP. I get it, right? But, like, the same way I get on my head about Lamar, the same way I get on my head about, other players. And, like, at what point do we, like, put, okay, hey, you haven't been able to get it done. We're not going to keep putting money into this. It's really drawing us nothing back in return, And Philly, as a city, as a proud city, they just won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not going to keep going for losing like this. Y'all saw New York fired their coach after going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, some cities just have that kind of, like, pride and, like, we got to win. And if we're not going to win, it's time to cut ties, no matter who it is or what it is. Like, we've seen it done in plenty of organizations, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't really matter who you are. We're going to get rid of you. So I think if Embiid comes out this year and gets injured, it's bye-bye Embiid. It's bye-bye Embiid. And it's unfortunate.
Hey, PG too.
Now, he's a whole different story. PG's just been a journeyman at this point. And I mean, he's gone from team to team, and it's kind of just like, what's your legacy?
Yeah.
We gotta start having legacy conversations. Like, how are you gonna be remembered when you hang it up? And I was having this conversation the other day. A lot of our guys we watched growing up are at the end of their careers, right? And I think PG falls to that. PG got to be 30-something plus at this point, right?
Yeah,
he up there.
So I mean, we know LeBron's at the end of his career. Steph Curry at the end of his career. KD got to be getting close to the end. He maybe got two 2 years, maybe 3 years maximum left in the tank. You know, like we're getting to the end of these, getting to the end of this line for a lot of these guys, and the question is, okay, what legacy are you leaving behind? PG, what? I mean, a lot of times, in my personal opinion, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong with this, if he does not get on a winning roster and soon, his legacy gets forgotten. It's like, okay, we remember PG, but we remember him just like being there, like it not really being like impactful. And I could be, once again, y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but I feel like when I watch PG hoop and the times I've seen PG in the playoffs, it's like, okay, yeah, you made a name for yourself and you fell off. And then you started trying to like go get help in other places, and like it never really panned out for you.
Yeah. I think from a success standpoint and like a winning standpoint, you're right. But like from like a basketball standpoint and like even like the younger generation, like a lot of their favorite players is PG.
Oh, for sure.
Like I heard Kion talking a while back, Melo's son.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, PG is my GOAT. So it's like, bruh, like
glad he said mine.
A lot of these players, a lot of these young players, they look up to people like a Paul George. Because his versatility, his ability to score, his ability to defend. Yeah. Like from a basketball standpoint, like, regardless of the injuries, but like, yeah, from a legacy standpoint, from a success standpoint, I mean, he's not a winner.
Yeah. That's my thing. Like history remembers the winners, Hundo. Like, hey, we all the time. Can I tell the story of the NBA and have your name in it? And a lot of times, those stories include winners.
PG in it. Because people will talk about like PG and the Pacers more than they'll talk about this team with Halliburton and Pascal.
I think that got overshadowed this year, brother.
You said what?
I think that got overshadowed this year.
Low key, because they never went to any finals with PG.
They had this man Roy Hibbert on SportsCenter the other day, trying to keep the legacy alive, brother. Go back to doing whatever you was doing, because nobody was interviewing Roy Hibbert during the season.
I said, wait a minute, Roy Hibbert. I heard his name in a long time.
They trying to keep that junk relevant. No,
nah, facts.
This is the Tyrese Halliburton era.
I don't think the team, but like, bro, we still remember that dunk he did on Birdman, like that when he went toe to toe with Bron in that Eastern Conference.
Okay, but listen, when we're telling the history of the NBA, are you even bringing that up?
No.
Oh, bro, he dunked on Birdman. Get out of here!
Like you're not. PG is gonna be in the history, bro. We're gonna talk about PG. We're not gonna be talking about PG with the Thunder. We're not gonna be talking about PG with the Clippers.
Hey, John, he about to have a sentence.
Hey, what are they gonna have a footnote?
Right? Like, come on, bro. You're not about to be a chapter in the story.
And don't get me wrong, PG. Please, if you're watching this, I'm not disrespecting you. I think that you are a great hooper, bro. But I'm thinking about legacy, and I'm like, yes, people are gonna remember PG for the next decade at bare minimum, right? Especially those who watch the game, right? People are gonna actually remember your name and what you did. But it's also gonna be like, okay, you went to several different teams, and like the outcome was always the same. It's like you were just a guy. Like people don't look at PG in Philly right now and say he's the man. I don't think that's not his legacy anymore. Like when he was in Indy, PG was the man. Like it was like, okay, this is the PG show. After he left Indy, it was kind of like he's just one of the guys. And that's for me, like I'm like, dang, like that sucks for him, because it's like if you're not remembered as the guy, you're gonna remember it as a guy. And like a lot of people don't remember a guy versus the guy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and they kind of hurt him leaving the Clippers, and the Clippers actually look better.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then what happened with him getting hurt with the 76ers, that was a mess. Because the thing about Philly, the Philly fan base, they will get rid of you soon. Like they will. And he's just on the wrong side of history, bro.
When we're talking about players' legacies, right? And to two players that we've been talking about, Colin, Devin Booker and Tre Young. I want to bring it back here. So we talked about legacy, right?
Okay.
These are two individuals who have stayed on, one team throughout their career so far.
Yeah.
When is it time to go?
And that's the thing, Hundo. We just mentioned this with Embiid, but like some guys, they just want to keep being average. Like they really had no desire because once you built up like that fan base in the city, right? You built up that like Book is being like the guy in Phoenix since pretty much he got there, right? And like people still look at him as the guy in Phoenix. Like when you think of Phoenix, you're thinking Book, right? Same thing with Trey. You think Atlanta, you thinking Trey. Like, and it's like, am I afraid to leave this? Because okay, Dame, that's a good example. Damian Lillard, he went to the Bucks, and it's like that's Giannis's team. Like you're just you're just a guy. Like you still Damian Lillard. Don't get me wrong, but like people don't look at the Bucks and say, oh my god, like Damian Lillard's the guy. Like nobody says that.
So do you think it's like an ego thing?
Yeah, I definitely that plays a part into it. For me personally, at one point, Book would say he was never gonna leave Portland.
Dame.
Not Book, Dame. Yeah, Dame was saying at one point he was never gonna leave Portland. Mm-hmm. And why was that, Hundo? Because I can go, and this kind of comes full back circle to Ace Bailey. I'm getting to the point now I can do whatever I want to do. And you bring the people to help me versus me going to help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my city. I kind of run everything. I got say so. I got pull. I'm the franchise essentially. Like I'm not winning, no. But Dame time, like everybody know Dame time. Like that's we people are looking forward to that kind of stuff. And like now he went to the Bucks and did what this year?
Yeah. And I'm gonna add to what John said. Like, it's not the grass is not always greener because he can look on his team and say, "Man, a couple years ago we were like, man, free Brad Beal, Hall of Famer. Brad Beal is a great player, top 75 today in this league." Like, but he moved to Phoenix and was okay at best, and now he's like trying to salvage his career, maybe go to Detroit. I don't know who else wants him, but the Phoenix literally wants to get rid of Brad Beal. And I'm not comparing the two, but I'm saying if Devin Booker leaves, and like John said, it's a Dame situation with the Bucks, he might have to alter his play style and game. And that's not always feasible for some people. And then, like we were talking about Trae Young, like Trae Young is used to being ball dominant. If he has to go to another team in this second apron where the team is not that good, because gone are the days where we have like the Bron D. Waves and Chris Bosh, because people are not going to be willing to go into that second apron and pay that luxury tax. I feel like if you just going to keep collecting checks and just go out the best son of all time, like I think that's solid. Some people just don't want the rings and chase the rings, and that's okay.
That's okay. And the thing with Phoenix for me is this: like
that's not okay, bro. I can't let that slide. That's not okay, bro. You gotta try to win, bro.
I mean, it sounds good. But
your whole life.
Hold on. Your GOAT did the same thing, Hundo.
Hey,
his
brother.
Entire career.
Hey, brother.
He was not trying to win.
He did. Yeah, he did. Hey.
When did he try to? Hold on.
Hey.
Let me put his name out there first. Let me put his name out there first. Let me go have a conversation about it. Carmelo Anthony did not try to win any championships in his career. He had opportunities. He had opportunities and decided to do what? Get paid.
Chase the money.
Exactly.
Hey.
So it's like some people just want their name in the lights, bro.
Thank you, John.
You tried to.
That's
it was
okay.
too late, though.
Some people just want to put their name in the lights, bro.
Like the Heat wanted him, but he could have taken a pay cut. He wanted the money in New York. That's a perfect example. Like, no.
Yeah, bro. Some people just they just want to see the name in the light, bro.
Hey, at least he got some gold medals.
Hey, yo.
Devin Booker doesn't have a gold medal?
I think he
got to have one at least. Yeah, I know he went on the last. Wait, he went. Now, he went on the last Olympic team. I think he was on the one before that last one.
I think it was like 2020. I want to say.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, bro. Some people's career is just going to be just that, bro. But see, here's the thing that keeps him in the legacy conversation. People gonna remember Melo because he stayed in New York. It's a fact. It's a fact. Like he ran New York for the time that he was there, and that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? So it keeps him in that legacy conversation. Do people remember him as a winner? No. The only
And see,
championship he
Hundo-
won was that. The only championship he won was at Syracuse.
He's one of the most successful Olympic players, one of the most decorated Olympic players in U.S. basketball history.
Man, if the Phoenix Suns,
Hall of Famer.
if the Phoenix Suns offer a hundo $60 million a year, that ink won't be able to dry before he another line. Like, come on.
I want to go to OKC. I want to win.
Congrats, 1 year, 15.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we gotta start having that legacy conversation, bro, with some of these players. It's like, okay, how will we be remembered? And like, unfortunately, you get phased out if you leave. Unfortunately, for some of these guys, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's just like, okay, do you get into that conversation? But you also have to get to that point. To my point with Ace Bailey, you haven't proven that you can get to that point. You haven't proven anything in the NBA. So it's like, if you come in making these demands, like to say, I might be able to do this. You ain't even winning in college. At least D Book went to Kentucky and was winning at Kentucky before he went to Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come in with no stain in your name and still want to make demands when you were sorry in college? And sorry, not sorry in the individual standpoint, but sorry as a unit. You even showed that you can play me as a unit. And you get to the league, what's the chances you go, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's my whole thing with that piece of it.
We just gotta wait and see, man. We just gotta wait and see. Hopefully he ain't no bust, but the man can score.
A lot of guys came into the league to score, Hundo. Let's keep it a stack.
Hey, but everybody ain't go to the Jazz. The Jazz was one of the worst teams in the West, if not the worst team in the West, I believe. Like, they suck. like one of his representatives said, he's gonna have a great opportunity to play. He's gonna get a lot of minutes.
I mean, that's facts. So you got to prove it early and often.
He will be on the court. DJ Edgecombe, he might not be on the court.
That's a right. That's a fact.
That's right. Like Donovan Mitchell. Like, Donovan Mitchell didn't do a lot of complaining when he went to Utah. He just killed, went to the playoffs, and then he left. That's okay.
And still doing it. And he's one of those, and he's a good example. Kyle, that's a good example. So I'm glad you bring these examples. He's a good example of a guy, left where he was, being that guy, and went to Cleveland, which I think is a lateral movement, but in the sense of like, he can still be that guy and go kill. And Cleveland got a lot better with him there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
But let's to 704. Like, I want to talk about this. Like, what do you think about
I was going to bring that up.
So I have my thoughts about Khan and Charlotte. Like, I think they're trying to change the culture, and Khan's going to help do that. Because
I hope so. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, because they could have had they currently have a crash out culture, but I think Khan provides a lot of stability because, like, even looking at that Duke team, Cooper Flagg did everything, but I think the grounding player, the person that made the organization go, was Khan Knuckle, because I think Khan was at the right place at the right time, knocking down shots, and I like Khan, his ability to play defense and his ability to stay on the court because he just does the little things well, and I think they need more players like that, and I think they got Kalkbrenner from Creighton in the second round. I like the pick, but how do y'all feel like it's going to work with that roster?
I just want to correct you on one thing. I think Sion James was that guy instead of Khan, as far as steadiness and running the show.
Well, he in Charlotte too, so God bless America. Yeah. They both in Charlotte.
He's in Charlotte too. But I don't know. I like the pick. I think Khan showed his ability to play make, which a lot of people were sleeping on. He's a great shooter, as we know. And he should help the team. I mean, I guess we got to see if LaMelo's going to be healthy. I think that's going to be a big part of it and how this team is going to look. Brandon Miller has been pretty good when he's been on the court. Miles Bridges has been pretty good when he's been on the court. They traded Mark Williams, so
thank God.
Got to find some inside presence. But I think Khan is steady, but we just got to wait and see, man. I would hate to be a player going to Charlotte. Like what's the direction of the team?
We're trying to get something there. I said we think we're trying to find it right now, bro. Like, I was gonna bring that up,
and I don't want to be a part of finding out.
that's my thing. Like, it sound good. It really does. But
Hey,
like
he could have pulled an Ace Bailey and said, "I don't want to go to Charlotte."
Ace was asking to go to the Wizards. And what's that direction? You just told me they suck. So like, I don't want to hear that.
Hey.
Like, I ain't trying to hear that at all.
But see, listen. Con is not that type of player to be like, "Yo, I want to go get my stats."
But
You're
Con
right.
could flourish anywhere.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
What you said, Colin?
Con could have flourished anywhere because he doesn't have to be the number one option. Like, he can flourish as the number 2 and number 3 option and just be in the right place at the right time. That's what I'm saying. I think that
No,
Duke
he
shows
can.
it.
He can. I just don't want to be in Charlotte. Like I said, like what's the direction?
I think they're trying to build.
Who are you playing through?
I think he.
I mean, obviously still Melo.
But still a Melo, bro. What do you mean?
I think the smart move, looking
yeah.
at trading LaMelo and running it through Brandon Miller, but I think
That's
right
true.
now it's LaMelo.
Do you think
But
he's,
if I need to knock down the 3 and people are targeting LaMelo and Brandon Miller, I trust Con Canepa to knock down the 3. That's what I'm saying. Like, every Duke game I've watched, like, Con has been the one that's been knocking down the right shot at the right time. Like, he's just gonna stay in the league for 15 years just because he's able to do the little things.
Yeah. I thought it was a good pickup for Charlotte, man. I was happy to see it. I was like, they gonna try to get Ace. And I was like, please don't go get Ace, because all the stuff I've been hearing about Ace. So they picked up Con. I was like, okay. I like the pick. I like the pick because like Colin just mentioned, but it's knockdown shooter, and we need that for sure in the city. To Hunter's point, we gotta establish a team. Like, I think the team has just been super young for a long time, and that's because vets have not been coming to Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of vets have been leaving Charlotte, but nobody's really been staying in Charlotte. So I think we need some veteran presence, honestly, in the city for real. And I am a Celtics fan, but I live in Charlotte. And that's Charlotte. The Hornets are the only Charlotte team I support, because I mean, we got to have something, hopefully one day, to look forward to. So I'm like, okay, how do we build a team? Help us build a team. Like, also, we still need a big, like Colin just mentioned a minute ago. They traded away Mark Williams, so they're gonna need a big. They drafted a 7-1 kid from Creighton, but I mean, he's a rookie, so I mean, I don't have no expectations right now. So, I mean, we got to get some direction, and somebody these kids gonna listen to. Like, I mean, they're just really young with a lot of money. That's where they are right now, and so we got to like get some, like something, some stability, some glue, something to hold these guys together. That's what's gonna help them start winning the games eventually. Like, right now, everybody kind of just playing their own kind of thing, but like, how do we become cohesive as a unit? And I think when you bring in, somebody like a Khan who comes from a blue blood system and who has some experience kind of working like that, I think that helps a lot. Because I think the past couple picks we've had in the first round with Brandon, these guys have kind of just come from teams where kind of like, just do your own thing, do whatever you want to do. And that just does not, that goes back to my point, it just does not work in the NBA. You can't just go and do what you want to do. It's not how the league works. Like, you have to play as a team to win. That's the only way you win championships, is as a team. So if that's the goal, we got to bring players that's going to fit that kind of mold and contract and culture.
I agree.
So prayerfully, make something work in the city this year. Obviously, that move does not win a championship in Charlotte, obviously. But it can help put them on the right path to at least be a couple more games won, prayerfully. Let's take baby steps versus giant steps. You feel me? Yeah.
All right, so are we touching on Ace Bailey? I feel like he's dominated the show, like, with number 5. Or you want to go straight to Tre Johnson in Washington at 6?
I think I've talked about Ace Bailey enough. I've already. I don't want to talk about the young man no more until summer league get here.
Yeah. Okay. So the Tre Johnson pick. Tre Johnson's elite scorer. Like, every game I saw him at Texas, man, he was able to knock down big time shots and control offense. I think they did him a good job with them going to get C.J. McCollum and vets to help him with his journey, because I think for him and Sarr, they need some veteran leadership in order to, be competitive in games, but also teach him the ropes of, knowing when and how to score. Because I feel like you can score from anywhere on the court, but I think the problem with Tre is, like, he would surrender running the offense for the sake of getting points, and I think that was his biggest weakness. But I think CJ, being with Dame, he's able to show him when to take over versus when to run the offense. And the same thing with Chris Middleton. But how'd your boys feel about that pick?
Yeah, me personally, bro, I didn't really watch Tre Johnson too much in Texas, so I honestly can't give y'all too much of an opinion. I'm gonna let Hundo go ahead and give what he got to say.
Yeah, I know you had mentioned him during the tournament when the tournament was starting, but like I hadn't seen him too much. But do you think he's going to be like a starter with the Wizards? What do you
Absolutely.
think his role is going to be?
Absolutely. They're gonna start him. They're probably gonna go kind of like with Portland, like they're gonna get him at the 1, McCollum at the 2, and then you're gonna have probably Middleton at 3. I don't know who you run at the 4, but I think it's going to be between him or Carrington. I don't know if they're going to try to stay with Carrington at the 1 or if they're going to go just Tre Johnson. But I feel like picking him this high, they have faith in his ability to score, and I don't see him coming off the bench.
So
So
you see him as a point guard. He's more of a point guard than a shooting guard.
yeah, I mean he's going to have to compete with Carrington for minutes, but I think they're going to go with Tre Johnson honestly for the sake of scoring and excitement. That's the thing with Texas is like they were losing a lot of games, but he was exciting to watch. Kind of how I talked about later on with Jeremiah Fears, but it's like they want that kind of energy in Washington, and it's going to be interesting to see how he operates with Sarr because I can see a lot of pick and pop, pick and roll scenarios. But the problem is, will Tre run the offense? Because there's been a couple of games I watched with Texas where it was like Tre was like waving off people because he wanted to score, go 1-on-1, and that kind of stuff don't work in the NBA.
Yeah. When I'm hearing this, he sounds more like a shooting guard, bro. Like I don't hear nothing about his like playmaking ability. Like I'm just hearing like scoring. So it's like,
But it's like,
why
what
not
do you
just
do with
pick CJ at the 1, which we've seen him doing in New Orleans more. But like you said, they got Bub Carrington as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was a rookie last year. I was on what I think he
It's
made
actually
it
kind of
all.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so that's gonna be interesting dynamic. Once again, what's the direction of the Wizards?
Right.
You
That's the
got you
question.
got you got all these old players. You brought in CJ. You got Chris Middleton. You got Marcus Smart. But then you got Sarr. You got Bub. You got Tre Johnson now. So it's like, who are we playing through? And what's the direction of this team? Because they've been sorry for years.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't see them running a Carrington Johnson backcourt yet. I feel like CJ is not coming off the bench. CJ can still put up 20. I just don't know how it's going to look. Is it going to be Sarr? I mean, is it going to be McCollum and Johnson, or is it going to be McCollum or Carrington? I don't know. So, yeah. But yeah, let's keep going. Jeremiah Fears. Actually, I want to touch on New Orleans just as a whole because New Orleans had the 7 pick and they traded back up to go get Derek Queen at 13. And I think Jeremiah Fears is a good player. I think, if y'all go read the Substack article, there was some glaring things that I saw, but I think he does have the ability to score. Now it's going to be interesting to see him and Jordan Poole operate on the same court. Who gets those shots? Like Hundo said, I don't know the direction they're trying to go in, but it's going to be exciting. I just think it's going to be exciting and a bunch of losses. So
That's crazy.
I think, there's going to be some times where we see a lot of highlights with Jordan Poole, Jeremiah Fears, and even with Derek Queen. But it's like, what does that amount to? Like, I don't think there's any clear direction of what they're trying to do. Are they trying to be a high-powered offense, or are they trying to go with Derek Queen, Zion, and just run a great half-court offense? I don't know. What do y'all think?
I think they definitely gonna be getting in shootouts with teams. I don't see them being no great defensive team. Jordan Poole's not no lockdown defender. From what I saw from Jeremiah Fears, I'm not too afraid of him on the defensive end. We know Derek Queen. We know Derek Queen's limitations on the defensive end. But I was interested to see where Derek Queen was gonna land. I'm surprised that New Orleans moved up to go get him. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see, man. I mean, I think Derek Queen's a good offensive player. He definitely got to work on his 3-point shot. But yeah, we're gonna see. Like I said with that trade, when they made that trade for Jordan Poole, it's like Like, what are y'all doing, bruh? Like, what's the direction of the team?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem, and I texted you out in the group, but like the biggest problem with the Derek Queen trade was that it's not only their pick for 2026, but they made it unprotected. So they get the best out of either the Pelicans pick or the Bucks. So whoever's sorrier, they get the better pick. And the thing, we don't know if Giannis is going to stay this season or if he's going to get traded. But you have to understand, it's like, okay, in my head, Joe Dumars, do I think that Derek Queen is going to be better than AJ? Is he going to be better than Darren Peterson? Or is he going to be better than Boozer? Because I think those are going to be the top 3 picks next year. And I just don't see Queen that high. Like, I went to go watch him play. I mean, everybody's saying baby Jokic. I just don't see it. Like, I think he can put up double doubles, but his laziness scares me. And I think, yes, he is tall, but he's not as big as Jokic. Now, a lot of that he'll develop in the league, just lifting weights and stuff like that. But it's like, I personally didn't see it. And I just think keeping that pick unprotected, you might be hitting yourself over the head next year, because Atlanta's they have 2 shots to go get a top lottery pick. They could have a 2 and 4 pick, or even 1 or 2. I mean, depending on how it rolls out. But I just don't think it was worth giving that unprotected 2026.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. And like we were talking about on the pod last time, like, what do you do with Zion? Like, do you trade him? Do you keep him around? Who do you run the offense through? Because I'm telling you right now, Jeremiah Fears came from Oklahoma. He's still going to want the ball in his hands and running the offense. And how many shots are available?
Don't forget about Jordan Poole.
Him too.
That boy's a gunslinger. He's getting his shots up, guaranteed. You talk about Fears coming from Oklahoma. Boy, Jordan Poole, he's taking 30 shots, boy.
Yeah. And Derek Queen's going to want shots too. So it's like,
yeah. They need to go ahead and trade Zion, bro. Try to get something for him. Don't let him walk for nothing. Try to get something for him. I mean, they already traded CJ. Shoot, blow up the whole core. DeJounte about to be gone. Blow it up, man.
Do you keep Trey Murphy and Herb Jones?
I think so. I mean, they're 2 versatile defenders, 3 and D type of guys. You definitely got to keep them around. They're gonna be valuable because you got to be able to get some type of stops.
Yeah, need some stability. We could be looking at 3 different crash shots on the team between Fears, Poole, and Zion. And
do you think Fears is gonna be starting, or do you think they go with Herb Jones, Trey, Poole, in that backcourt?
I think the latter. I think you keep. I think Willie Green wants to at least try to win games. I feel like later in the season, Fears is going to start, because Fears is going to be electric starting Monday with the summer league. Like, because he is just an electric player, makes big time shots. His size concerns me. Pause. But even the defensibility, like you said, like where does that defense anchor come from? And I think you're going to have to put Trey Murphy and Herb Jones on the bench in order to have some kind of defense. So yeah. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, this could either go really good for Joe Dumars or it could go really bad. And it's gonna be bad if the Pelicans suck and the Hawks have your pick.
Yeah,
they go get AJ. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Were there any surprise picks for you in the first round?
That's a good question. I feel like obviously I didn't think Khan was going to have. The surprise for me was BJ, because I thought he was going to Charlotte, honestly. But I think later on in the draft, I did not, kind of like we were talking about yesterday through text, I did not know Igor was going that high. Everybody had him late first round, but Brooklyn went up to go get him at 8, which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I think they saw they had Claxton and Cam Johnson, so I think they kind of cut out the Mullock pick and with Coward. But I think in a lot of mocks they had Noah Asingwe going to Brooklyn. So that was kind of surprising, Igor going that high. But yeah. What about you?
I was surprised that Walter Clayton Jr. went that high. An older player. And we know how the NBA feels about older players. But he's a big shot maker. I like his ability to score. And as we saw, like I said, hit big shots. Can play with the ball, can play off the ball. So we gonna see how that pans out. And then my boy Janai Broom, man. Shout out to Broom, man. He got drafted. I know it was the second round, but hey man, shout out to Janai Broom, man.
Yeah.
Why we giving shout outs, bro? Shout out to Will Richard. He got drafted from Florida. That's AJ's little brother. He went to the Golden State
Golden
Warriors.
State,
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So shout out to him.
which can be very solid for him. Like he can knock
Facts.
down shots. So that's
Facts.
interesting. And I mean, we were talking about Brad going to the Detroit, but I'm curious to know how this Chaz Lanier pick pans out because Chaz Lanier can knock down shots too. So I don't know if he's going to provide instant offense for them. Now, obviously, Brad Bill's a much better player, but in terms of their youth and his ability to score, I don't know if they're going to bring him through the G League. But if he comes in and produces, I don't think they need to make any other moves.
It's true.
Yeah.
Saw your boy Tyrese got drafted.
Hey, I hope he's been working on his free throws, man. He really had me hot, bro. Missing free throws, bro. Like you're a guard, bro. Hit your free throws, bro. So I hope he's ready for summer league. I hope he's been practicing his free throws, and he has a legit shot to make this team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm curious to know what they do because does that mean? Now, obviously, I assume he's coming off the bench. Yeah, what are they going to trade Garland? Like, what is that?
Hey, fellas.
Get him out of here.
Right.
I'm gonna let y'all boys continue the conversation. I gotta see the barber, man. I gotta get this cut. Podcast family, I appreciate y'all winning shot. I'm gonna let these boys continue on and end it off for the morning. Once again, I thank y'all again for being patrons of the Winning Shot Podcast family, and I look forward to seeing y'all at the next appointed time. God bless with a new haircut at that. Amen.
Yeah, brother, go get right.
Amen.
All right,
I'll be back. All right, brothers.
Yeah, and also too. That pick at 16, Yang Hassan, the center from China. It's like, what is Portland doing? Because you have Cleveland, you have Ayton, now you have another center at 16. You just got rid of Simons. Don't you need scoring? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know, bruh. Klingon was on the all rookie team. You got some versatile forwards. Like, I don't even think Buddy was supposed to go that high. I think Buddy was projected to go in like the second round.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying shout out to Rich Paul for getting him drafted in the first round.
Yeah, I don't get it. I probably would have taken a shot on Jace Richardson right there. Like, at least Jace Richardson gets you a little bit of scoring, and he's a better guard than what you currently have. I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah. We're gonna see, man. So I'm excited for Summer League to see how some of these guys look early on. Of course, the Summer League roster is not the normal roster, so take it with a grain of salt. If people out there getting buckets, they still might not even make the team.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be interesting, bro. Let's talk about Naz Reid. Like, Naz Reid got that 5-year 125. I know you're happy. That's your guy. How do you feel about the Wolves' direction with him signing them to that long-term extension?
I like it. I'm interested to see how it's gonna pan out. As I told you, Randall has a player option for this upcoming season, so I'm sure he gonna tap in and get that. So I think it's like 30 or 31 million, something like that. But it's like, are you keeping Gobert? Is Naz Reid gonna be, the starting center? So we gonna see. I think Conley is really the only legit free agent that's coming up, but he can go home. He was sounding like he was ready to hang it up anyways. So yeah, go ahead and clear out, Mr. Mike Conley. Pack your bags, brother. Have a good summer vacation, man. You had a great career, my boy. But let the youngest cook. Hopefully he can get in the starting lineup, man. Hopefully Naz Reid can get in that starting lineup, man, because he's talented. And clearly they thought so, paying him that money. And like we talked about in the group, he got to show up now. He can't be getting locked up by Alex Caruso in the playoffs, man. You 6'9", 6'10", bro. You got to be a man down there, bro.
Nah, I agree with you, bro. I think that's the biggest thing because now you're gonna have some cap casualties. I think Conley's one of those players. like we talked about yesterday, Nikhil Alexander-Walker is going to probably have to walk. I just don't know. Now, obviously, with the second apron in this cap situation, if you can run that same team back, and it looks like they are. I just feel like there's limitations with that, because now, do you bring, if Conley is gone, do you bring Rob Dillingham? Do you start him, or do you keep running Ant at the one?
Me personally, I mean, if I were running the team, I would put Ant at the one, but I understand what that means, because the energy that he's going to have to exert on both ends of the floor. But me personally, I got to see some more from Rob before I throw him into that starting lineup. Now, if they're able to bring in or bring back Nikhil, that could possibly be a starting guard in the league. But are they going to be able to do that? I don't know. Unless they can get like a veteran point guard on a vet min or something. I don't know what the market is out there. I know Schroeder. I don't know what type of money he's going to be looking for. But Giddy's probably out there at point guard, but that's probably going to be a steep price. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I feel like Reed was definitely worth it. I just didn't know if it was going to come from the Timberwolves. I thought there were going to be some moves made, and I just can't unsee what happened in the playoffs. Like, it just, I don't know, man. It was one of those things where, like, the Thunder had a better roster, but I thought Naz Reid was going to give them a little bit more, because now you got to pay McDaniels, you're paying Reed, you're paying Ant, you're still on the contract for Julius Randle, and obviously that big contract Rudy. Is like, man, I'm paying top of the line roster for what? Like, to get bounced out in the Western Conference Finals again? And for some teams that's a big deal, but it's like, for the Timberwolves, I thought they were going to make that next move and get to the finals, but I don't know.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before in a previous episode, like that window of Ant, sticking around, it's starting to come into question, especially if they can't get over that hump. So
Yeah,
after a while, but he might be, whistling and talking a little different.
yeah. Oh, okay, so let's play a little game. So, how many teams, like, truly, do you feel like going into next year, just with the rosters constructed as now we're past the draft, how many teams do you feel like can win the NBA Finals next year? Like, truly.
I guess we can start in the West. OKC, you gotta have them in the conversation. As currently constructed,
Can Minnesota win the NBA Finals?
I think they can. I think bringing back Naz was a big piece of that, and they still got Jaden. That starting five is pretty much intact outside of Conley, who is doing nothing but getting cardio anyways. So the starting five is back. The starting four is back. um, so the Timberwolves, depending on Dallas, if Kyrie can come back healthy, I think they're definitely in the conversation now. I would have to put Houston in up in that conversation as well. I would have to. I know how you feel about Houston a little bit. We talked about it last episode, but I think they're definitely in that conversation now. So that's 4 teams in the West. In the East, I'm gonna go. I think the Knicks definitely have an opportunity. I like what Orlando is building. I got to see some more. What that bench is gonna look like. More Orlando's definitely in the conversation. They're in the mix. Me personally, I don't trust Cleveland. But I mean, they were the number 1 team in the East, so I guess I got to throw them in there. So 7. So yeah, I think those 7 are probably have the best opportunity to win. I think the Pacers are probably going to take a step back. I think Boston's going to take a step back. Philly is up in the air. We got to see what that's going to look like, if they're going to be healthy. So yeah.
How far of a step back do you think the Celtics are going to take, though? Because I think with Simon Brown, White. I guess we're bringing back Luke Cornett. We got rid of Kristaps, but you still have like JD Davison off the bench. We're probably going to need another big. I don't know who that's going to be. We bringing back Xavier Tillman. I mean, in the East, though, I feel like we could still make the playoffs. Now, granted, I feel like Tatum's probably sitting out the year, but I don't think it's like people talking like it's going to be a lottery pick. I don't know. I think we can still compete.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a lottery pick. I think it'll be like play-in range through like 7th. I think y'all can be anywhere between 7 and 10. I think y'all gonna compete. I gotta see how that backcourt is gonna look with Simons and JB. But can JB carry that load offensively the whole season and stay healthy in doing so?
Yeah. But I think the benefit is, shockingly, I feel like now with this roster, we should be implementing that just 3-and-D mentality, shooting all the threes. Last year, because you had a lot of mismatches with Tatum being 6'10", he can, whoever's guarding him, he could definitely, post up, shoot over the top. But I feel like now, if we still keep that same strategy, we can definitely either be in a lot of games or we can suck. Because I think everybody on that roster can knock down a three, personally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think y'all play style is going to change much. It's going to be, are y'all knocking down the threes? Pretty much how it was this year. I mean, if y'all knocking down threes, y'all going to be beating people or in the games, or if you missing, we know how that looks. It could look ugly.
Yeah. So I didn't hear you say the Lakers with the 7. You don't think the Lakers can win the NBA Finals?
Well, a big part of that is Austin Reeves declining that extension that they offered him. So, like, Mr. Reeves, what's going on, brother? Like, what are you looking for? I think they still have to figure out how that's going to look with Luka and Bron playing together. They still have some question marks down low. I think they could do, similar to what they did last year, but right now it's like I don't have faith in them boys.
Yeah, I got the Knicks. It's just like I don't know what I'm gonna get with Luka. Like Luka could kill this year, but I don't know if that roster's constructed to win the NBA Finals. I think if they can get there. But yeah, I'm gonna go the Knicks. I'm gonna go the Timberwolves, Thunder. Not really big on the Rockets. I don't know. Just because I have KD doesn't mean I'm gonna get to the finals. So that's the thing. And even the Mavericks, like we're gonna be honest, like we don't know what we're gonna see with Cooper Flagg yet. I don't know if the Mavericks can win it. So Knicks, Timberwolves, Thunder, Magic, and the Cavs. But that's all I can say. Yeah, they probably can win it. Spurs are going to be interesting. I'm thinking they're waiting on Giannis, which is why they didn't make a move for KD. But I just don't think that roster right now is going to win an NBA Finals. I feel like there's a lot of holes. And when they're probably going to go Vassell and Barnes starting. I mean, it's going to look electric with Wemby and Fox, but I just don't know if that team can go over the hump. Because
I don't know,
does
man.
Dylan Harper start? Because you're going to have to start Castle. He's rookie of the year.
Yeah, I think Fox starts. I think Castle starts. You probably go with, like you said, Barnes or Vassell at the 3. Shoot, 3 or 4 probably.
That's what I'm saying.
And then Wemby at the 5. I think Harper will come off the bench. I think he'll come off the bench, run that second unit. But like we talked about last episode, bro, like that was my hesitation with them drafting him. It's like, bro, like you already got Fox, you already got Castle in the backcourt. So it's like, yo, why go take another guard?
Yeah, I hope. What I thought was going to happen was they're going to take Dylan, and I thought they were going to package that 14 pick and probably Vassell, Sohan, and go get KD. I'm curious to know if they're still pursuing Giannis, but I think it made sense when we were talking to the pod last time because it was imagining either KD or Giannis on this roster. But now it's like, ah,
It's not
this
looking
is
like
okay.
it.
Yeah, don't hit the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
So
think
so with okay, go ahead.
I think from an asset standpoint, they're still in good shape. Like they can still go out and pull off any trade that they want to. If they see that it's not working, you know, by November, December, they can still go out and they have the pieces to move people around.
So who do you see on this list? Well, just the NBA teams can have the biggest disappointment this next season. Like, who do you think is going to have the biggest fall off?
Mm, I don't know. I'm interested to see how Denver is. Um, we've heard a lot of noise surrounding the team. So are they gonna run it back? Or are people gonna be, out of there? Aaron Gordon, MPJ, Jamal, like what's going on in Denver? Um, I think when you look at the East, maybe Indiana would be my guess. Um, and probably I don't know. Milwaukee still got some good role players though. Like
Yeah.
despite them losing Dame, they're still gonna have some good role players. Especially if they can bring back Bobby Portis. Um, I just think the East is just wide open, bro. Like I feel like a lot of those teams are gonna be close, like in the standings. Like when you look at the standings when it's all said and done, like it's gonna be close. Not
Yeah.
not necessarily in a good way, but like they're gonna be like beating up on each other. Like a lot of teams around 500 probably would be my
Mhm.
guess in the East.
Yeah, I think Miami is glaring to me. Like, I don't think they're going to be that good, honestly. I feel like that defensive culture, defensive mindset is probably going to win them like 20 games, but they're still going to be a very disappointing team. I think they missed the playoffs. In the West, surprisingly, I'm gonna go with the Warriors. I just don't see it. Like another year with Draymond, like Draymond's still an anchor defensively, but when I looked at a lot of their role players, it's gonna be the Steph show again. And I don't know if you can ask Steph to do that and carry them like this. And I don't know what year two of Jimmy looks like, but like I said initially, when Jimmy first got traded, Jimmy's a ticking time bomb. Like when everything is going well, Jimmy looks like all world. But if there's any inconsistencies this season, they start losing. I just don't know what the antics and stuff with him and Draymond on the same court. I just see it ending poorly, honestly.
Do you think there'll be any team that missed the playoffs that can get into the playoffs? I mean, I know we talked about San Antonio a little bit, but is
Yeah.
there anybody else that you think can sneak into the playoffs?
Loki, the Suns. I mean, they're gonna need a point guard. I don't know if they still have Tyus Jones, but you kind of solved your problem going to get Malak and going to get Mark Williams because I was saying they didn't have size, but I feel like they were still in that play-in fringe with KD and Bill. Get rid of Bill. I just feel like with Jalen Green, Devin Booker, Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen, Malak, Mark Williams, they can make a run to at least the playoffs. Like now, it won't be like 5 or 6, but they can slide into eight or nine and compete. In the East, uh, I mean, obviously Philly, but I feel like that's kind of like a bad answer because they were all hurt this year. We're barring health. I think that they can be a solid team. Like um, Maxi, Paul George, McCain, Edgecombe, and Embiid. That's a contending team. Like if all of them come to play, it's just gonna be a matter of health. But yeah, they're my team in the East, honestly. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you with Philly. I think the rest of those teams that missed the playoffs are just not good, bro. Like Washington, Charlotte, trash. Brooklyn, trash. Like Toronto, maybe. Um, but it's like once again with Toronto, it's like what's the direction of the team? Like you traded for Ingram mid-season last year. You still got Scotty Barnes. You got a whole bunch of wings. You drafted Colin Murray Boyles. So it's like, bro, you got similar style players on this team. So it's like, how are you going to plan to get over the hump and beat these teams? I mean, I guess you're banking on being healthy, but outside of that, like, I don't think Colin Murray Boyles is the player that's going to come in and, change the direction of the franchise with the where they took him at 9. Like, I just don't see that happening. I don't know what they're going to plan on doing in free agency, but we'll see what happens with Toronto. But definitely Philly, if healthy, they definitely should be, top 7, top 8 type team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And then in the West, I don't know, like I talked about before, Portland. But after they traded Simons, it's just like, dog, like, you lost 20 points per game right there. So how are you going to replace that production from Simons? And like you said, they went out and got a center. So it's like, yo, and you got Klingon. So it's like, bruh, like, I don't know, bruh. It might be some dark days for Chauncey Billups coming up, man. I don't know if he's going to be there.
Huh? It might be the dark days are over. There might be some broadcasting days after this. Like, they're getting rid of him after next year. Like,
yeah,
it's time.
Yeah.
So what's the, go ahead. No, I was gonna ask, like, I haven't watched much of Portland, but what are your thoughts on Scoot? Like, is the Scoot project over, or do you think that he can cover whatever they're missing with Simons leaving?
I think he's a good role player. I think when you take somebody that high, you don't expect them to just be a role player. You expect them to be able to lead the team, but he hasn't shown me anything to be like, yo, we should build around him. I think he's a nice piece. But as far as replacing Simon's production, I don't see that coming from him.
Oklahoma City still the best team in the West?
I think so. I haven't seen anybody make a significant move to be like, I think that they can outshine the OKC. Like, Houston getting KD was big, it was good, but I don't think that's putting them over the hump to say that they're going to be number 1 in the Western Conference. But I do think they could still, depending on the matchups, get to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Like, this free agency is gonna be big to see, where players end up, and see if teams are willing to spend some money to make some moves. Unless we see some more trades happen, but as of right now, it's looking like a lot of these teams are going to be looking pretty similar unless they, make some drastic moves.
Yeah, like you said with the East is just wide open because we don't know, like, for the Celtics, Pacers, and Bucks, where do you think you are? Do you think you can still compete? Because I think there's a couple of pieces that I think a free agency can add and bolster a roster, but you might not have to worry about 3 teams because they might just want to tank. I think for us, I think we're still making moves to compete. But like with the Pacers, do you bring back Miles Turner? Like, do you, I guess, bring back the other guys if you know you're not going to have Tyrese? What does that look like? Same thing with the Bucks. It's like, with the pieces that I have, do I start to do a fire sale with some of these pieces? Do I go get free agents? Like, do I think I can still compete without Dame? And am I trying to please Giannis? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of question marks still out there, man. One team that I am, interested to see that we haven't really talked too much about, but the Pistons. The Pistons are right there. A great season compared to what they were doing previously. Good young core there already. So like we talked about before, like, do they move on from Tobias? Do they try to go land, a big fish in free agency, or do they just rock out with what they have and hope that they, continue to improve?
Yeah, do they have any draft picks this year? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh no, actually Chaz Lanier's going to Toronto. They had a pick, but they traded it out. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And what's the next step for Cade? Like, Cade, he was All-Star, right? and averaging 25, 26 a game. What is that next step? And I guess for the other role players, who does Malik Beasley have the same season that he did last season? Because he was definitely an anchor, like in terms of knocking down shots. But it also is Malik Beasley. Like we haven't expected that out of him in a while. Yeah, and then those rookies, like you got Ron Holland. What is the status with Jaden Ivey? What does he look like? I don't know, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
Any more news about the Knicks and the head coaching situation? Have you heard
I
anything?
think they said they was looking at interviewing James Barago. But we're gonna see, man. I feel like the Knicks are in an interesting spot because if I were running the team, I'm not going out here and signing X, Y, and Z player, and we don't even have a coach, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're low key in a tough position to bring anybody in and sell the team really outside of what you did last year. But like, who's gonna be the coach? Like that's a big part of attracting free agents and attracting players to want to come there.
Yeah. What do y'all need in free agency? Do y'all need to just try to build out the bench?
I think so. Like I said before, I think the starting five is pretty much intact. But we got to get some consistent production off the bench. Like Miles was cool, but like he was inconsistent. So we need some type of consistency, and I personally think some more size down low, specifically defensively and rebounding, and having that extra security blanket because we know Cat is not no lockdown defender or nothing, and if he's getting in foul trouble, we can't be super small out here, as we saw versus the Pacers, and out here getting bullied.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up free agents because I don't know who that piece would be. Free agents. Free agent tracker. He's got signed. And it's not. A Nicholas Batum.
Man, go home. That man's like 38, bro. Want no Nicholas Batum.
I'm looking at the free agents.
Man, if they go sign Nicholas Batum, bro, them boys bogus.
Oh, I'm looking at the free agents. You don't have that many options. Pat Connaughton. I didn't know Malik was a free agent, but he's probably going to re-sign with Detroit. Charles Bassey. Nikhil, maybe.
Too much money.
Well, brother, Spencer Dinwiddie. You can't. Beggars cannot be choosers at this point.
Hey man, we need some size, man. We don't need no more guards, man. We need
Bruce
some
Brown.
size.
Oh well, okay. Tony Bradley.
Who else on there?
Marvin Bagley.
Okay, Bagley could be solid off the bench. He's still 6'10", 6'11". He can get up about 10, 11 points per game. That's solid. 6, 7 rebounds. That's solid.
Clint
Capella?
Yeah.
That's basically Mitchell Robinson, bro. We good.
Yeah, but do you need just more to bolster the depth, or
but Clint is not going to be it. I don't see him coming off the bench.
That's fair. I don't see a lot of good options. Bring back Precious.
No.
Dear God, no.
We're good.
Oh, dear God.
I don't know what the Knicks situation is going to be, but do you consider trading, Josh Hart or somebody?
Nah, they're not going to get rid of another Villanova player. They're trying to please Jalen. I'm serious, bro. They're trying to please Jalen. Josh is low-key the glue guy on that team. New York loves him.
Yeah, the city do love him.
I feel like the trade that needs to happen, like you said, y'all play better without Jalen, but they would never entertain that.
Yeah.
That's the only asset that
Yeah, or Cat.
Yeah,
But
but you
like,
just
like I
traded
said,
for.
we just got Cat.
Yeah, but I say that goes against your logic because they just got him, so you can't trade him. It's like,
Yeah.
but I don't know who wants Cat though. Like, I feel like there might be some sorry teams that would take a bite on it, but I feel like Jalen is obviously the biggest asset that y'all can get a boatload for.
Hey, the Hawks traded for KP. Somebody will take Cat.
Yeah, or OG.
I'm a big OG fan, bro. I like OG on the team, bro. If you're gonna trade anybody, trade Cat, no, trade Brunson. We're gonna put him first. Trade Brunson, Cat, Josh Hart, or Mikal. You know, OG. I think OG tough, bro. People be sleeping on OG, bro.
OG solid. I'm just saying in terms of tradable assets y'all have, like you're not getting
Nah,
a boatload for a lot of these players.
he definitely a tradable asset. I just don't want to see them trade him.
That's real. That's real. How did you? I guess the last thing I want to talk about is like, how did you feel about like the NBA draft coverage? Because they were getting on Stephen A's head because he just didn't seem well versed in a lot of the picks that were coming in, and like obviously, I don't know if you've seen the whole beat between Kendrick Perkins and Bill Simmons, but Bill Simmons was like he said something about Colin Murray Boys going to Toronto and saying that Toronto is going to be a contender. And like Bill Simmons was talking about he wanted to turn the TV off after he said that. I don't think Kendrick made a bad take. Like it was solid. Like I can see where he was going with it because I feel like Toronto is trying to switch everything 1 through 5 because they kind of have the same style of player 1 through 5 literally.
Mm-hmm.
But there were moments when I was watching the draft, I was just like, man, I just want to see a pick. I don't want to hear the commentary because outside of Jay Billis, y'all really don't know these players. I'm curious to know like what you think. Obviously with the streaming, playback, and all these things going, where more people have access to different kinds of people. Like it seems like ESPN has been trying to kind of salvage a crew to do the finals and do draft coverage because a lot of people are curious to know what the Charles Kenny check is going to look like with ESPN going into next year. But what did you think about the coverage when you were watching the draft? If you watched the ESPN,
I don't know. I just feel like from a I guess big picture standpoint, it's like get the college guys to do the draft content. Like you
yeah,
said, like Jay Billis, like whoever was broadcasting and commentating, the college game, or even like the college game day crew. Like bring Jay Will there.
yeah,
Bring those guys there. I mean, those are the ones who were truly like studying the college game. Like Stephen A and Perk are more focused on NBA, which I mean is fine. But like when it comes to the draft content and draft coverage, like you need the college guys there, and the international guys that they got doing scouting stuff. But like
yeah,
like I mean, it's okay. Like Perk and Stephen A don't have to be on there. It's cool.
yeah. And the thing is, like, sometimes you can like overexert your people. Like the NBA draft, it doesn't start on the 25th. Man, it starts 6 months, 7 months back. Like we've been talking about prospects for months now. And I think they're trying to make the stars like your Stephen A's and Kendricks because they provide a lot of energy and stuff like that. Stephen A is gonna be yelling. But if you just do it for that night, you're already behind because there's so many
Mm-hmm.
like people that in these later rounds, like you can get probably the top 5 and speak on them. But when those later rounds, like you don't even know if they're a good pick. You can't even watch them play.
Right.
And I just feel like for the sake of like where I see TV going, like the people that are actually doing the work in the background, like the hard work, and understand the sport, like I care more about that. Like numbers on the board, they did a coverage with Brian Windhorst, and I was watching that a lot more than I was watching, Malika Andrews and the rest of them because it was like I know Kenny watches the sport, like he watches these players, and he can provide the
Mm-hmm.
analysis that I might not be able to see. And I think
Okay.
that's kind of distasteful for like some of these big networks just trying to bring on the stars in order to cover these things when they're not actually doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's real. That's real. I mean, and you can hear it in some of the analysis. Like even when you look at other sports, for example, like when ESPN and first get to talking about like the WNBA and Stephen A talking about it, it's just like, bro, like I'm not listening to what he has
Not
to say
watching
about
the
the
game.
WNBA, bro. Like I'm good on it, bro. Like Shanae, Andrea, like I'll listen to them, bro. I'll listen to Monica McNutt, but like Stephen A, nah, I'm good on it, bro. Like you're not saying nothing, bro, because you're not really tapped in for real.
Yeah. And that's kind of the problem I have with Stephen A. Is like be a master at one thing instead of being okay at a lot of things. You know, like they had him on UFC boxing, they had him, with the NFL draft coverage. I'm like, man, there's no way you're looking at doing research for all these things at once. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
like, I think even for us, it's like that's why, yeah, I step away when y'all talking about WM because I'm not bringing a lot of good analysis. I don't watch the games as much as you and John, but
Right.
I don't think ESPN is ready to have that honest conversation and say, hey, we just need certain people for certain things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Honestly, bro, I don't think people will be watching like ESPN, like going to ESPN and watch the draft in the next like 2 to 3 years. Like you even see it with like the BET Awards. Like a lot of people only watch the BET Awards because they saw it through Kai's stream, and like people were able to see, oh yeah, the BET Awards happening, tonight. But I think the same thing is going to be with these draft coverage. Like people want to hear the people that actually know the sport, and I feel
Right.
like there's going to be more watching the draft through this stream or this playback rather than watching it live through ESPN. So
Yeah. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Lock in.
all right, we had a minute or hour 41, so I guess we can put a cap in it there. Everybody who watched, man, thank you once again, man. We started off this episode thanking everybody who has subscribed. We got 121 subscribers, and we're thankful for all 121. We don't want to stop there, man. If you know somebody who hasn't subscribed yet, send it to them. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share yourself. Put in the comments what you think about what we talked about. We talked about the NFL draft. We talked about the NBA draft. We talked about WNBA content. We talk about college football coming up, college basketball. So we have a plethora of sports. So if you're not into one sport, you can go look at all of our content and find a sport that you're into and see exclusive coverage on that. Tell us what you think, and we'll be sure to respond back with our thoughts. And just have conversation because we want this to be a family. We want y'all to come in and share your thoughts, man. Um, and yeah, that's really it. We appreciate all the coverage we're getting, and be sure to continue to share and spread the message because we want to spread the gospel even through sports and through our authentic takes. So until next time, we will see you. Be sure to subscribe to our Substack where you can read some of our content, and we'll have more video content coming your way soon. Peace.
Peace.